Hello there, Melissa Lemon here, and welcome to my video series on YouTube, Delving into Daniel. And this is video 4, and in this video I'm going to talk about how I believe that the book of Daniel, in combination with the book of Esdras from the Apocrypha, is a dwindling timeline. So, I want to share my screen with you. So I just have to be able to do that. Okay, so this is just a tiny little presentation. Well, it's not even that, it's just my notes. But, so I can get rid of that. Okay, so this is Daniel's dwindling timeline. So we've talked about 3 of his visions already. We talked about Nebuchadnezzar's dream, which was kind of his vision because God gave him the dream. So Daniel did actually see this vision. And the end, so we have the start of his vision. Sorry, I'm not explaining this very well. So you can look at the thing. There's 4 visions. Daniel chapter 2 has one. Daniel chapter 7 is the start of vision 2. Daniel chapter 8 is the start of vision 3, and Ezra's eagle prophecy in the book of 2nd Esdras in the Apocrypha is the start of vision 4. And all of these visions actually have the same end, which is why I like to think of this as a dwindling timeline, and we are about here, by the way. So, there it is. Okay. So back to the timeline. I don't talk about this in any of my other videos, but all of these dreams end with the second coming and reign of Jesus Christ. Go read it for yourself. It's pretty obvious. But all these dreams have the same end. But as I've talked about in my previous videos, they all have a different beginning. And so I just want to show you how cool this timeline thing is. Nebuchadnezzar's dream begins with his own reign, which began in 597 BC. And then, of course, we talked about how it has the full ending of that dream is the second coming of Jesus Christ. And then the second, in Daniel chapter 7, Daniel's dream about the 4 beasts, which I talked about being the beginning with the American Revolution. And that was in 1765 to 1783. So you can see this kind of big jump in the timeline here. We had Nebuchadnezzar's time was 597 BC, and we have just taken this big, huge leap in history to the American Revolution, to the next one. And then, of course, the ending of this dream is still the second coming. And then we had Daniel chapter 8, which was, I talked about how that was World Wars I and II, and those began in 1914 and ended in, or World War I began in 1914 and World War II ended in 1945, and the same ending of the second coming in that dream. The 4th part of this timeline is not in the book of Daniel. It's in the book of 2nd Esdras of the Apocrypha, and it is the vision of Ezra's eagle, and specifically as interpreted by Michael B. Rush, which is why I'm not doing a video on this, because there is an expert on this, and you can go watch what he says, and it's amazing. And I've learned so much from Michael B. Rush. I've read almost all of his books that he has out, and they're excellent. And I really think he's probably the world's, leading expert on this topic of Ezra's eagle and some of these prophecies. So specifically, Daniel chapter 11, which is another vision that Daniel has, and I'm not doing a video on that because I think you should go read Michael B. Rush's book, Daniel 11, because it's going to be way better than a video I could do. It's going to have way more detail. But so Ezra's eagle, as interpreted by Michael B. Rush, begins in 1929, and you can go learn why that is. But can you see how we're just getting so close, in my opinion, to the end? Because that one started in 1929, and it has not ended yet, but it is pretty close to the end of that prophecy. So It's interesting. The book of Daniel in combination with the book of 2nd Esdras is, like, in my opinion, the very best timeline we have been given in the scriptures about the last days and the coming of Jesus Christ. Perhaps it's the only actual timeline we have been given in the scriptures. A lot of people come up with timelines based on their study, and they're super interesting, and I think some of them have a lot of value. But this is, in my opinion, a timeline given to us in the scriptures. Like, there's actually years to these events, and we can study and learn about this, and it's just super fascinating to me. And I highly recommend that you do your own study. So I tried to stop sharing my video, but my screen, but I don't know that it actually did. So try clicking it again. There we go. Hello again. So that is what I believe is happening in the book of Daniel, is a dwindling timeline. And I'm so grateful for Daniel, because he, again, saw all these things that were pretty disturbing for him, and you can read about that. And you know, he saw these disturbing things, I believe, because he asked to see them. He wanted to know what this dream of Nebuchadnezzar's was about. He wanted more information. He wanted to learn more, which is a beautiful lesson for us, that if we want to know something, we just go ask. But it's also, we've been given a huge gift because he asked, and I encourage you to go read these things. I encourage you to watch these videos again if you need to kind of like process this more or understand it better. Let me know in the comments if you have questions. I'd be happy to try to answer them. I am not like a world-leading expert on anything. I just have a unique view of the book of Daniel because of my personal study of it and my experiences. And I love the book of Daniel because I really love Daniel. I think he's an awesome person. And I also love how short it is. I feel like a lot of books are difficult to study as a whole because they're so long, for me anyway, because they're so long. And the book of Daniel is 12 chapters. And so I love that. Again, I'm not doing a video on his vision in Daniel chapter 11. But I'm going to do one more video in the series about Daniel chapter 10. And you'll find out why in that video. But it's got some cool things in it too that I want to share and debunk. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like and subscribe if you like. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.